Before you come to beg on the door, forgive me, Delilah, I just couldn't take anymore. Whoa!
Welcome to the Bear Pit Pod. We are back. You might notice if you watch it on YouTube, Craig looks a little different.
Yeah, total change.
That's because it's not Craig, it's Tom. You may know him from doing the stats show on Thursdays, sometimes other days. Depends when he's got uni work or not, really.
Yeah.
But Tom is here, standing in for Craig, who's doing God knows what in Thailand right now.
Dodgy stuff, maybe.
Dodgy stuff, ping pong balls,
Yeah,
all sorts.
all that kind of stuff.
Connect 4, apparently. That's something I've heard goes on in Thailand, but I'm not sure what people are getting at, to be honest. But obviously we're here after the crushing defeat at the weekend. What your initial thoughts when it came away? Down?
Yeah, just sort of like zoned out, because I don't think I'd accepted sort of obviously like relegation's been hovering there. But this was the first time that I think I've had to accept that it's gone from being a chance to a probability now.
Yeah, it's definitely more prominent and forthcoming, it seems, which isn't good, of course. To start off, though, make sure you do like wherever you're listening, comment, subscribe, give us a 5-star review if you're listening on iTunes, wherever you are, it all helps. SoundCloud, Acast, I think I've covered them all off.
But yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I hope. But yeah, going back to the game at the weekend, to start off, there was 5 changes. Was it 5 or 4?
4 or 5, yeah.
4
there was
or 5.
loads of changes.
There was a couple of changes to the starting lineup that were a bit strange, so to say.
Yeah, especially as because they were all to the back 4 and Peters was supposed to be there as well.
Yeah, well, we'll get on to that. But yeah, Peters was also supposed to be in there, but the changes that did happen, Johnson came in, Shawcross came back in, Crouch started up top, Adam got into the midfield.
Yeah, I can't really say I understand any of them, because the back 4 has it's been the one 100% good thing under Lambert.
Yeah, I mean it looked quite solid with Bruno and Zuma in there, and changed it and brought Shawcross back in.
Even against City weren't exactly all over us, just dominating us. They're a good team, aren't they, and beat us. But no, I didn't understand why the back 4 changed at all.
I've only heard, I think it was one tiny report, it might have been BBC Stoke, saying that Bauer was maybe overworked from playing a lot of games, but I'm not sure if that's correct. I've heard nothing from the club on it, and he's been our best player in the past 5-6 games since we signed him. Really, he's been man the match a couple of games.
Yeah.
He's been brilliant. And for me, I think I probably would have put Edwards in there before Johnson.
I thought actually out of the changes, Johnson came in and I think did anything desperately wrong. But
best of a bad bunch.
Yeah, best of a bad bunch. But weird to not see Edwards. I think he's had injury problems for the past month. But the whole Bauer thing and being overworked, some sports scientists will probably comment on it now, telling us to shut up and we're being ridiculous. But we've got a 2-week break now. We've got a 2-week international break. Yeah, okay, he's going to go and get away with the international squad, and it's just friendlies for Austria, isn't it? No one has proper matches. So could he not have done the same as Shaqiri looks like he's done? Just say, sorry, I'm going to have to take 1 or 2 games off. I don't know, it's weird.
Strange. Maybe if he is overworked, hopefully he's back for the rest of the games, because we're going to need him. But the other change that a lot of people run around in a lot of people's ears was Adam starting in midfield, and that came to be the one that did haunt us. But a lot of people, including myself, were very concerned with this when it was announced in the lineup. Yeah,
I think sort of the Sentinel said a day or 2 before that some old heads might come in, and I think people jokingly were like, "Oh yeah, Adam will be back in," and I just don't know how you can trust that man. He's been a liability for so many things this season. If you think about it, even if you it's a bit harsh, but you go back to the Watford game when they were totally on top of us, and he misses that open goal, and all it needed was Watford to score the goal that they looked like they were going to score, and we'd have lost 2 points there as well. So,
and of course he let us down for 2 points with the penalty miss, and then the follow-up, the game against Brighton.
And he got the assist for Newcastle's goal and their win against us.
It's not gone well for him this season. And he is a liability, and thank God now looks like he's going to be set to miss 3 games.
Yeah, that's the only positive to come out of this game.
So as we say, Charlie Adam wasn't everyone's first choice to start in midfield, but the first notable thing he did on the pitch as well was leave Tom Davies in at the back post, free header. Yeah. Everton should have gone 1-0 up early doors.
Yeah, they should have.
And it was just lazy.
Yeah, it was.
Just watched him go past him. No one else inside.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's normally sort of we've had it loads this season, haven't we? Because of the zonal marking and people start blaming other people. But it was quite clear that Adam was on Davies and he just sort of watched him.
There wasn't even
run away.
With Adam, you might expect him to grab hold of him or grab his shirt.
Just do
wasn't
something.
even that.
Just sort of
Wasn't
go
even
on
a
there,
leg,
lad. Yeah,
anything.
have a go.
Nothing, absolutely nothing. And that was his first notable contribution, and probably his other one was a shot from 40 yards from range.
I don't
glazed
get
over.
It really annoys me when people applaud that. Especially, like, I understand
Just
it
for having a
if,
go.
if you're just passing it around and struggling to break through. But Stoke, before his next thing, which I'm sure we'll get to, were totally on top and we were probing them. And then he just whacks one at 35 yards, 40 yards out, over the bar.
Lose possession.
Waste
Take the pressure off.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. It does my nut in. It's horrible to watch. Yeah.
And then obviously it came, sent off for a challenge on Rooney. His touch was bad. So it was left him chasing, and he lunged in with his foot up. Was it a sending off for you? I know a lot of people debated it.
No, I don't think there's any debate. It's 100% a red card.
Nah, I'm of the same belief. I know a lot of people weren't, but he's gone up, studs raised, scraped it down the back of Rooney's leg. I can't make much of a case to save him.
Well, watching it at full speed, it actually looked so much worse than what it was. So you understand why the ref's done it. But as soon as it started snowing, as soon as the snow started sticking on the pitch and the slide tackles start coming out, people made use of it. I just thought in the back of my head, oh God, when's Charlie Adam going to get sent off?
Yeah.
And then it came.
There was numerous people, who tweeted me, tweeted the Bear Pit, who'd bet on it. 25-1 because Charlie Adam red card. And there was a lot of people, there was a fair few people who'd had that. So a lot of people could see something like that happening.
Yeah.
But for me, it was a red. As I say, in this day and age, you simply can't do that. You can't be off the ground, feet up. No. And it was a red. I think the referee made the right decision. I know some people listening probably disagree, but I just don't think you can get away with that nowadays. And he gave the referee a decision he didn't have to make. Didn't have to do that.
Yeah, that was it, 100%. It wasn't even like that Huth one from like 5-6 years ago when it was same snowy conditions and he just slid and the player just jumped over him and tumbled. He genuinely had studs on Rooney's ankle. It's a red card, irrelevant of the conditions, irrelevant of anything. It's just foul play.
So yeah, deserved red from us. Let us know in the comments or wherever if you don't think it was a red. I think he's going to receive a 3-match ban. Yeah, I don't think it's going to get it's not going to get overturned. We won't appeal it. No. I've seen a lot of people as well. I haven't seen this for a while. People tweeting him directly. I haven't done it. All my abuse is non-directed towards
I can't
him.
say I haven't done it.
All right, okay, so you've done it. But this is the first time I've seen a lot of people doing it. People who I wouldn't even expect.
Yeah.
People who I wouldn't even put that past.
Cool heads normally on Twitter have started doing it.
People who have got a calm, collective sense about them usually. I still haven't done it. I don't know how I haven't. But a lot of people tweeting him directly, so I'm sure that he's well aware of what he's done and how he's let everyone down.
It was match of the day for me, seeing it again and just sort of thinking, 31-year-old's been playing Premier League football for a majority of his career in one of the most important games Stoke have ever had. I just can't believe you go sliding in like that. It baffles, especially on where it is on the pitch as well, because it's not even one of those ones where if he wins the ball, Stoke could be in a really good position to push through on Everton's goal. He's just gone flying in for the sake of flying in because he's had a bad touch. It's just really immature.
And whilst you were chatting there, I got up a tweet that I remembered seeing, and it's from the Stands Football, and they said, since Charlie Adam went on the debate show on Sky and talked up a mental strength in a relegation battle, he's since missed the last minute penalty, got sent off, and Stoke haven't won in 7 games.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Last time I listened to the pod, Craig was sort of saying Adam's been getting it a bit, and I think
I've never been Adam's biggest fan. I'd love to know what Craig would have said about that. He's probably telling some Thai girl out in Phuket or somewhere at a bar, just listen, Charlie Adam, and she's like, I don't even know what you're on about. I don't know what you're on about, Craig.
What is Charlie Adam?
What is a Charlie Adam? Get away from me. We then did, of course, spend the rest of the game with 10 men. We made it to half time at 0-0, which was, we'd take. Yeah. At least we didn't go a goal down early on. And then, but when we came back out, obviously Everton did take the lead through Cenk Tosun. The original header was offside.
Yeah.
Bad decision by the liner.
Because it was one of those ones where he's offside for the entirety of the move.
Yeah.
He never just jumps out. It looked off.
It was always off.
Yeah.
And Jack then sort of parries that. Good reaction save, but he puts it back into the danger zone, puts it back straight up in the air. I think it might have been who's the lad up front for Everton, the young lad. I can't remember who it is.
Calvert-Lewin.
I think Calvert-Lewin pokes it towards goal. Staffy does an
unbelievable clearance.
Amazing clearance off the line, but then Tosun's there again to finish it off and put it into the net. Obviously, it was offside. Should never have even counted. But some people, with both the goals that we'll get onto, but with the first and the second, the first what we're speaking about now, some people have said, could Jack have done better?
I was tweeting David Priest on Twitter, and he's
Priesty.
Yeah. He's outstanding normally on when he talks about goalkeepers, and he said live, because I think he was there.
Yeah, he was.
Watching it, there was no fault for any of the goalkeepers. He sort of said it's the kind of thing where the keepers will look over it themselves and find faults in it.
Yeah. But
it's elite level goalkeeping to be able to do those things. You have to be truly, truly at the top of your game on a good day to stop those kind of chances.
Yeah, I can't find any fault for that goal. I can't find any fault for that. It's a quick reaction save. At least he made the save. When it's that quick reaction, I don't think you can even give the thought about where you're parrying it to. As long as you're stopping it going in, you've done your job.
Yeah.
And then obviously he's tried to sprawl himself to cover the eventual goal, but it was a volley from close range. He was never getting in the way. Then we did bloody score. Chupo came on for Shaq. Shaq went off. I don't know if was he happy about going off?
He didn't look too unhappy, as you sort of expect him to. Because you know him, he would be pissed.
Maybe an injury.
But yeah,
there was reports of that strain before the game.
I think he must have been sort of nursing an injury on the injections or something.
Yeah,
wasn't fit really.
But
got 60 out of him.
Never looked at on his game really.
And I suppose in the situation you were thrust into as well, he's had to do a lot more.
Yeah.
He's had to cover for us playing with 10 men.
Well, yeah, exactly. So then Chupo did come on, and I think we had a free kick out on the wide left. Alan put it in, straight onto Chupo. It didn't look like he was going to even put anything.
He looked like he was pulling out of it, didn't he? Yeah.
And because of that, and how he eventually did throw a leg out, he got it into the net, and then he was obviously limping around. I thought he did hit him with his dick or
I think he's injured. He's injured something around there.
Because obviously then he was injured. He was hobbling about, went straight off. What a contribution!
One touch, I think it was, wasn't it?
Touch and goal.
Yeah,
you'll take that. Take that with his subs if that happened every time. But yeah, Chupo had to go off, and then who was it who came on?
Hesse, I think.
Yeah, Hesse came on. You've just reminded me of something I need to add into the running order as well regarding Hesse. A lot of people can probably guess what it already is. So yeah, we got it back. We got it back to 1-1, and then the sort of rallying cry went round the ground. I thought we're going to go and win this now.
Yeah, it was that feeling of like, right, bloody hell,
Stoke
odds totally against us. Yeah. We're going to steal one, and then it's going to be 90 minutes of the rest of the match, 10 men defending.
I thought, right, we're going to win this now.
Yeah,
I just had that feeling about me. And then I had my dreams crushed.
Yeah,
totally. A whipped cross came in from the right. Tosun was there again for a diving header. I think he just nipped in front of Johnson, who probably should have done a little better.
I thought Shawcross was a bit at fault.
Really?
Yeah, because so in the City game with Bruno, they seemed to attack every time the ball was there. There was no leaving it. Everyone took responsibility, and if they could head it away, they'd head it away. And Shawcross sort of ducks it. He doesn't go up for it, and I don't think he's had that bad a season, but I think that was just one of those moments where if he can make that decision again, it stops the goal, it gets the ball away.
Yeah. For me, I'm not sure if I looked at what Shawcross's involvement was ahead, but for me, I thought Johnson should have been in a better position. I think eventually when Tosun heads it, he's got his back turned in a sort of way. He's been spun around.
And Tosun's sort of heading it at sort of mid-leg level.
So Johnson should have either thrown his head in or gone with him.
Yeah.
I think he's facing the wrong way by the end of the move. But Tosun gets his header in. Again, could Jack do anything about this? He got a hand to it.
Yeah, he said, didn't he, after the game that he feels he should have got a stronger hand to it. But I think it's a decent cross, and Tosun's got an absolute peach of a head on it. It's coming at him at speed, so
just reaction.
It's just one of the things.
Fast, isn't it? All gone a bit fast. There was some people obviously questioning both goals by Jack. But that was the eventual scoreline. Tosun with the double for Everton, and we lost 2-1 in, yet again, another must-win game.
Yeah.
Which is a bit gutting. I haven't felt that gutted for a long time.
No, yeah, that one was proper. I was somewhere else for an hour after the game.
Yeah, no, same. With it. I remember I sat in the same place for ages, and I was just like, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah.
And obviously I was doing the feeds for the Bear Pit as well, and I was just like, really didn't know what to say or do.
Yeah, what to put on it.
I put the quote out on Twitter from Peter Coates. What's all the fuss about in December? Followed that up because I never like going in on Peter Coates. I don't like giving.
Yeah, because he's given us so much.
Exactly. I really don't like it. I really don't. But I did put that quote out and then followed it up with, listen, he's done so much for the club, the city. For me personally, I got a job. I started my career at E25, obviously his company and Denise's, and I said I can't think highly enough of the guy. But when you can't see which way the club was going, or it seems to be going, we're not down yet by all means, but the way it seems to be going, maybe it's time to hang up your boots.
Yeah, it's.
Or what does the boardroom hang up? Not boots, pens.
Yeah.
No
suit
boots.
Jacket.
Suit. Hang up your suit. But yeah, I didn't like to say it, but I did after the game.
I think it's one of those things. Yeah, he's brought us up and he's put us where we were. We were on the fringes of Europe, but then the complacency and the just sort of ignoring the problems. Like I don't know how many times I've said it, but that 1-0 win against Southampton at the end of last season, if we wouldn't have won, would we be in a different place? Would Hughes have lasted the summer? Yeah, it's one of those things where I think it was, if we lost that game, it would have been our worst points total ever since coming up. And I just think it was a weird day because there was all the snorkel stuff and the players and everyone seemed really together.
Yeah.
But it sort of just felt like, actually, it was the biggest papering over the cracks we've ever had, because that togetherness was just sort of like, bloody hell, finally it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not
over.
Is it?
It's not over because it goes on. It goes on and on. Obviously, I wanted Hughes out. I think it was around April, and people were saying it's a rash choice to make. And then you look back at it now, and we should have at least gone in the summer. At least.
Not to say I told you so, but
exactly.
I think I said September after that Palace game to Craig, I've never seen anything like that, and I don't know what's going on.
The 4-1.
The 4-1, because the team just, it was weird. Even players who people have talked about, like Walters and Whelan, wanting them back in the team for this season, and it's clear we've missed
that in the dressing room.
Them, but I don't even know if last season they were the same as they were in the prior seasons under Pulis, where it was sort of the dressing room policed itself and all that stuff. Because that Palace game and everything that followed it, there was never any signs of corners turning. It just seemed to be going from game to game, and if we played all right and kept to it, we'd scratch a win out. But if we lost, everything went to shit.
Yeah.
Everyone didn't know what they were doing. And just, you compare that team to the team that was Anfield semi-final and all that, and just
nowhere near.
All the same players, totally different teams.
Nowhere near on performance. I think there was echoes or shades of it in the Everton podcast that we did with me and Craig and Matty Everton pre-season, and it came across there that Everton didn't think that we were going to do well this season. That was after on the back of buying Fletcher, and he just didn't think it was going good places, and he was right. But going back to the game, best performers, Alan.
I thought Alan and Ndai both, when you think about the job that they had to do because they'd lost that man sitting behind them, and I think for most of this season when we've had midfielders playing in a 2, they've just always looked entirely incompetent and like they don't know what they're doing. But I think those two played well, but
that's about
it. It was
like hard to
they'd maybe get 6s or 7s. It wasn't outstanding performances.
Difficult one to give anyone. Worst would obviously be Charlie comes straight in at number 1. Who else didn't have a great game?
I don't think Crouch was good, and I don't know. I really don't enjoy Crouch starting in the system Lambert's trying to play, because it basically means we're playing without an attacker, because he's not quick enough to move up the pitch.
Yeah.
And especially when you're down to 10 men, it meant really, in defence, we were playing with 8 outfield players, because Crouch just
Yeah.
He can't press a defence. He's not got it in him. So I thought he was poor, but maybe not out of his own fault.
Well, yeah, not for his not for his own efforts. He's trying, but what else can you do when you're just left up there by yourself when you've got 10 men on the pitch? Man of the match, Alan.
Yeah, Alan,
It's
probably.
an easy one to give. So now I open it to you first, and then I'll come on to it. Are we down?
If it carries on like it is, yeah, obviously. I think just for the sake of sort of picking the players and picking the fans up, we need to get 2 points from these next two. I know it's Arsenal and Tottenham, but just a win or 2 draws.
If we get a win in one of these, it'd be lifted.
And the only other positive thing that I thought today was this season, the teams who've pulled away from the relegation zone tended to start doing that the week after it looked like they were totally down.
After they were dead.
Brighton did it, Swansea have done it, Palace did it. Palace at the start of the season were just gone and then pulled away with a draw against City and started moving up the table. So if it's going to happen, it's going to happen now. But
something has got to happen, and hopefully we can in those 2 games. After that, it's West Ham away, Burnley at home, Liverpool away, Palace at home, Swansea away.
It's not a bad last 5 games to have, is it?
It's not the worst in the world. You've got West Ham, Burnley, Palace, Swansea, Liverpool away is obviously the standout fixture that you think is really difficult.
Could do with them beating City in the quarterfinals, because then that game is sandwiched between 2 semi-finals.
Exactly, wouldn't mind that. 2 midweek games either side. For me, I find it difficult to say that we've got a chance. The only reason saying I've seen how this team are playing lately. I think it's there for a lot to see. We don't like scoring. We don't like scoring many, and we're going to have to if we're going to. We've got Arsenal at the Emirates. We've never won there in the Premier League.
But Paul Lambert, I don't really think it's going to happen. But Paul Lambert's got a few good wins with Norwich at the Emirates.
Oh yeah, I think I remember a couple of those. But yeah, you never know. See, I don't want to write us off. I don't want to be too negative and say we're down. But I do find it really, really difficult to say we're not. I look at West Ham away though. I think that could possibly, they're not in the greatest of form. Burnley at home, they don't travel great.
But then Everton didn't travel great, but then did we throw it all away by Adam getting sent off?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you say, we were on top for points before he did get sent off. On to other things. Peters, first off, was reported to have been out on the Friday night before the game. Picture went up on Namina, I think his wife's name is, her Instagram. I think they were at some event, but he broke a 48-hour curfew. Apparently, he would have even started if he hadn't broken that, which would have baffled me even more.
Yeah, because Staphylidis he's looked like a left back since he came in.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. Coates also had his say on this. He said the manager has dealt with it. It is very disappointing for a senior player of all that experience not to understand we have a critical game and he should be approaching it in the right manner. Is this just a sign of some of the players just giving up?
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to Eric Peters. Because since he got that new contract, before then, you'd say, out of everyone in the team, you could rely on Eric Peters to give you a 7 out of 10. But since then, I think he might have pulled 1 or 2 7 out of 10s in the 50 games he's played. He's slid away, and this is sort of the perfect example of what seems to be going wrong with him at the minute.
Not only Peters, but Hesse, another one, has been blasted on social media after the game. I don't know what goes through players' minds to even do something like this, but obviously you've seen it. If you haven't already, go and find it because it's still up on his Twitter account somehow. I'd delete that straight away. Must not, his manager or whoever it may be must not understand.
I just I thought it was a bit comical in the way that it was a weird photo.
It's a weird photo.
At a weird time.
And a weird thing to
and a weird way the club's going. So I haven't really flipped my lid about it because...
But it's just a bit of class, bit of
just misunderstanding of what's just happened, because it was like, oh look, it's snowing, let's have a nice photo in the snow.
So for those of you who haven't seen it, we haven't explained it properly, but he's stood in maybe his front lawn, his backyard, he's got a Batman cap on.
About 10 sizes too big for him.
Massive Batman cap, pouting or posing at the camera, and he just posted a few emojis, which is just a weird
it's just
thing.
really weird.
Straight after the game.
Yeah, no comment or anything.
No comment. So nothing like
Soz.
Yeah, sorry for how we performed today. Or it's just, I don't know who's running his social media, but they're not doing a good job.
Yeah.
They're not doing a great job. But with Hesse, Peters, things like that coming out after the night after a result like that, it's not painting a good picture of how the players are performing behind the scenes at the club.
No, it definitely seems like there's a misunderstanding in the dressing room. And it might not even change it if everyone was fully committed. It could still all be going to shit, but you just want that effort, don't you?
Yeah.
You're paid stupid amounts of money, and it's not their fault they're paid stupid amounts of money, but you've got to understand that you just need to not go out 48 hours before a game. How hard is that?
Even that, just how stupid is you got to be for your wife to put a picture up and incriminate you?
Yeah.
Even if you are going out.
In.
Yeah, she's grassed you in there.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going out, just don't post pictures of yourself going out. Even if you're going to do that, Jesus Christ. And then another story, I don't know too much about this, so I'll hand it over to you because you mentioned it, about Ngoy.
Yeah. So this is weird. He's done an interview with the Belgian papers talking about how many clubs he's turned down, which was like a really nice thing because he sort of was saying, I've got good backing behind me and my family were like, look, Stoke's the sensible option. But I don't think he was desperately pleased with his loan.
It's gone.
No, not how it's gone. His loan to Walsall. He was praising the club and all the chances he's had and recognised
scored a few goals.
He's doing well at Walsall, but I think he was just a bit annoyed because there was Belgian first division teams after him, but Stoke wanted him to stay in England.
And apparently said there was some truth to the Monaco stuff.
Yeah, said the Monaco stuff was moving. He started comparing himself to Mbappe.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. No, it's nice to see the confidence, and I think it would have been nice to see Ngoy stick around because we've got this total paucity of strikers. Just no one is clear, right, you're going to start week in, week out. And Ngoy's just got a bit of pace and he clearly knows where the goal is. He sort of was scoring like Campbell's been scoring in the under-23s. He's got, I think, 3 at Walsall. So, yeah, I just think it's a bit annoying that he's out on loan.
It's interesting. Well, there's a few people out on loan we could probably do back with, but we won't go into it.
I'll start crying if we talk about them.
Yeah, let's not. We will get on to the people's questions now. Some people's favourite segment of the show. Don't know why. Dutch Potter, Henry. We should probably also mention we got a trip to the club this weekend for top 11. Got it brought over from Amsterdam, maybe? Is that where he lives? Somewhere in the Netherlands. That's the biggest place in the Netherlands, so we'll just say that. Came across, the top 11 paid for him. He went and got Crouchy's shirt at the end of the game. Obviously, the result wasn't great, but he got a trip across, which is all good.
It's just nice to see, isn't it?
It's nice. It's very nice. Well done, top 11, for sorting that out. But he asks, what championship game should I go to next season if we go down?
I don't know.
Villa, if they stay down.
Yeah, Villa.
Villa's a good
away day. One. Yeah.
Leeds
is the one I'm looking forward to if we do go down, because my dad's a Leeds fan and it's one of the first games I ever went to was at Leeds.
I really enjoy Villa away, so I love that little tent that they have out just away from the ground. Stoke could do something like that, a little fan zone.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll make one. Let us know in the comments if you want to make a fan zone at Stoke. I'll do it. I'll sort it out. Matt Bills says, who wins out of the Pulis XI or 10-11 of the current and why?
Oh, the Pulis ones pull them to shreds.
Easy, yeah.
Because I think Higginbottom's got a new podcast and he was talking about it on there, that when you came up once the really good teams, you knew that you weren't going to be able to do them physically. But when teams who were trying to play nice football came and had players who weren't too sure, he said even in the tunnel they knew they'd won.
Knew they got it.
Yeah.
The organisation and just how Pulis teams were set up, I think they battered the Stoke team though.
Totally.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. I think that's an easy question. Matt Bills, so thank you for that, but I think it's an easy one. Centristal, Alex says, should Lambert receive a 3-match ban for starting Charlie Adam?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm after the great effect he had when he came in, I think everything since pretty much is just questions with Lambert. I don't understand any of it. I didn't understand all the rotation. I rarely understand his subs, especially like that Southampton one.
Yeah, that was a crazy game.
That was just weird. So yeah, I don't know. Why on earth are you playing Charlie Adam?
I won't answer that because obviously it's not a real question. Jack at Stoke 665 says, if we go down, what players will we lose? Butland, Shaqiri,
Allen,
and I reckon Nday'd have something written into his contract, relegation clause.
Yeah, I think
Alan.
that's the one.
Sobby was rumoured. Team Talk
Liverpool.
posted Liverpool.
Yeah.
Obviously, Salah wants a mate.
Yeah,
That's 5. Staphylidis leaves on loan.
yeah.
Zuma goes back on loan.
Esse goes.
Esse goes on loan. Depleted squad here.
Yeah, Imbula probably leaves somewhere.
Would Bojan stick with us? That'd be such a
That'd be
romantic,
beautiful, wouldn't it?
beautiful.
Captains us if Shawcross gets
Give him the
poached
band.
somewhere.
Give
him the
band.
club.
Give him the club. Make him the owner. I'd do anything to have Bojan in the Championship.
Yeah, and I think he'd rip it to
Menezes,
shreds as well.
Keep him.
I think he's staying at Girona,
Probably
isn't it? I
is.
think it's
They've
written
got-
into his
if they've
contract
got-
that
if
if
they
they
stay
stay
up,
up,
they've got an
and
option
they're
on.
going to finish 7th or something like that.
Yeah,
So
bastards.
yeah,
So Mooney will go. So there's a good 7 or 8 we've named there. He'll be off.
yeah, and then there's a few run out of contract. I think Howgard goes.
I heard. I don't know where I've heard this. I can't remember who I've placed it to. But I've heard reports. This is exclusive.
Ooh.
This is exclusive
Breaking.
for the podcast. Yeah, breaking exclusive. Someone I know quite close at Norwich says we've inquired, or we were looking at Angus Gunn
Yeah,
if Jack leaves.
yeah. He's City, isn't he? But
yeah.
on loan there now.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
Decent
solid
young
pair
keeper.
of hands. Would
So,
be
yeah,
perfect for.
There's a podcast exclusive. I'm not going to put it out on the pages or nothing like that. But if you listen to the podcast, you now know. So give me a tweet or send me something. But I've got no idea how true it is. But that's a podcast exclusive.
Yeah, I think that's nice. I think Grant's going to be too old to
Jacob
be a
isn't going in the
guaranteed.
nets. Jacob isn't going near the nets. Geordie of Suburbia, Jordan C says, if Craig had £1 for every time he says it's a must-win game, would he buy the club? Yeah, he's not here at the minute. He's spending them pounds wisely in Thailand at the moment. Robert Super Shakiri says, another question about Craig. Tell Craig I saw what he did at the pub the other weekend, lol. I was standing outside when it happened. He knows what I'm talking about. I'm sure he will explain it.
That sounds dodgy.
That's intriguing.
What
he's
has Craig
not
been up to?
Again, he's not here. I don't know what he's been doing at them pubs, but as soon as he's back, we'll find out. Remind me, he's back for the pod that'll be on the 3rd. So remind me for that. Let's have a look. Harvey Todd says a teacher at school said if we'd have kept Hughes, we would have stayed up. Hughes averaged a win every 6, and Lambert has only won 1 of 8. Do you agree with him? I'll leave that with you, Statman.
No, I don't agree with him because so we've never gone 7 without a win under Hughes, which obviously, but I think that would have been coming anyway. We would have gone that long at some point under Hughes, and the club was just falling apart. So you can go off to Southampton and enjoy his trip to Wembley.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that Mark Hughes is going to Wembley for a semi after he went out to League 2 opposition in the 3rd.
First FA Cup win in over 2 years for Mark Hughes, and it takes him straight to Wembley.
Jesus, and that was against Wigan.
Yeah.
Great question from Wardy, TD Ward. What's the biggest animal you reckon you could throw over a crossbar?
I reckon like
a big dog. I think I could.
I was going to say a not very big sheep.
And do they exist? Like a lamb?
No, not like a lamb, but just like not a big heavy sheep. I reckon you just sort of
I reckon
backwards.
A Labrador or something.
Yeah.
Just hold it by the back 2 legs, swing it around, throw it over. Let's have a look at some more. I think that's Twitter done. Rob G, Gilman _R, as Lambert is evidently inadequate, which is strong words. Top candidates for manager next season.
Graham Potter. I don't think it should be anyone else. Get him in.
A lot of people throw his name about.
I just really like him.
That great performance at the Emirates on the second leg as well.
Yeah.
Beat Arsenal on their own turf with a Swedish team.
And it's not even just a Swedish team who aren't great. It's genuinely like players who came to that club. Well, some of them came to that club when they were in like the 3rd division of Swedish football, and he somehow has got them into a team that's knocked out Galatasaray, got past Hertha Berlin and Athletic Bilbao, and they're just great. Exciting, passionate, hard-working football is just all you could want.
Well, we'd love that, and obviously used to play for the club.
Yeah.
So he's literally a Potter by name and nature.
It's brilliant.
What
it's
a match.
Written in the stars.
Dan Turner and Stephen Roberts, I'm combining their questions. They say, where's Afly and where's Stephen Ireland?
Stephen Ireland's no longer with us. I don't know where he's
dead?
gone. I
God
don't
rest
know.
his soul.
I don't think he's that. He's just.
Lambert doesn't seem to like
He's
him.
not his friend, is he?
Not his friend.
Stuck him in the under-23s. And
Afly's a strange one. Doesn't seem to be. I don't know if he's injured.
Doesn't seem to have a position in this team though. The only place you could see him playing, weirdly, is behind the two midfielders. As sort of a defensive playmaker, just not having to move too much, but pass it around a bit. But yeah, I don't know. I was never that keen on Affeline.
Were you? Were you not?
No, he was all right in the full time, but
very good on the ball.
Yeah, I think he recycled possession nicely, but you stick him at number 10 and you can't just have someone who can pass to people. I'd never forgive him for not giving it to Ngoy against United.
Yes.
2 seasons ago.
I remember that. Andrew Corden says, am I literally the only man in Stoke who thinks we still have a chance and just wants everyone to stay positive and believe that we're not one of the 3 worst teams in the Premier League this year? We can still stay in the Premier League.
How can you say we're not one of the 3 worst teams? We're 19th after like 30 games.
We're statistically one of the 3 worst. We're 19th in the league. I know I probably get his point though regarding squad. People in the side. We've got more quality than our position shows.
Xherdan Shaqiri getting relegated would be one of the greatest crimes against football.
Oh yeah.
It just actually would be disgusting.
It wouldn't be great.
No.
It wouldn't be great. David Johnson and Steve Mawson both agreed with Andrew and said, yes, we can stay up. And I do love to see the positivity. But I've had half a kind of strong and I'm slurring my words. I think that is it. For the questions. Let me double check. Interesting one from Sue Icons. Why are Scholes and Cartwright still in a job?
It's a good question. I can't remember who said it, but I think those weird massive signings, so starting with Imbula through to Wimmer, where apparently Hugh's getting more pull than he formerly had.
Right.
But how on earth we didn't sign a striker this window, how long it takes us to get deals over the line, that don't come down to the manager. That is purely the financial side. Yeah, penny pinching. Bruno, why on earth did we risk not getting Bruno
for the sake
for 3 million?
Yeah.
And how would he feel about that?
And because it's happened so many times on so many separate deals, it shows that is some kind of mindset somewhere at the club. And that obviously comes down to the people who do the deals.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
We are penny pinchers. We are. And you can see that, for me, you can see that in not only running through the obvious things with the transfer deal, but you can see that in things around the club, off the pitch.
Yeah. What's it? So I live in Brighton and my university is right next to their football ground. And you go to a Brighton game as a fan, you probably pay a bit more than a Stoke fan would because it's the south and everyone's got a bit more cash.
Yeah.
But you genuinely go there and feel totally valued as a fan, whereas have our facilities changed since we built the ground?
Not really.
No, I can't pay on card. It's a silly trivial thing, but it just sums everything up, doesn't it?
It affects the matchday experience. The queues for getting a beer or a pint or a pie, whatever.
Getting away in a car is impossible.
Car takes an age. But yeah, there's a certain mindset, but it's not one for today. They're still in a job at the moment. Even if we go down, I'm not sure they'd be leaked.
No, I think especially Scholes is connected to the club until the Coates family no longer own us.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that. Been a long relationship, and I don't think they break it. We will see. That is the question. Best question.
The one about throwing things over a crossbar. The non-football ones are always the best.
TD Ward. Great question. So lastly, it's the international break this weekend. Jack versus Pickford for who's going to be England number 1 for these games. Do you think it should be Jack?
Yeah, I do. I think Jack's in a weird position where he's assumed to be the number 1.
Yeah.
So I think the criticism against him has always been a lot more focused, whereas I think Pickford's got some really good things to his game. His distribution's probably second to Edison.
Yeah.
And Jack's distribution this season's been poor. But I think as a shot stopper, I don't think you could look past Jack.
Yeah, I agree with that. Pickford, for me, like I say, great distributor of the ball. Jack even had one incident at the weekend. I think it was a pass back to him from Adam, and he sliced it out for a throw in. And that's one of Jack's downfalls. But they even did, you know, the comparison on Match of the Day, the keeper versus keeper, and it's quite obvious. It now seems like it's a race against those two.
Yeah.
Obviously, Pope's got the outside line.
Yeah.
The third choice, Hart, hopefully, is nowhere near the squad. He doesn't deserve to be.
I don't know why he's still there.
I've got no
It's
idea.
terrible.
I've got no idea why he's there. He's not even starting games for West Ham.
No.
And when he has, he's been absolutely dog shit. But I think that Southgate's going to do with the same as usual and play one in each.
Yeah.
I think that's how he'll go. He seems to share it out like that. But as you say, I think Jack is, as it stands, the number one. Obviously, the England kit launch, because they got new kits, he was number one for that.
Didn't notice that.
Yeah,
Good
so
spine.
I always spot things like that. So there he was modelling England kits with Butland, number one. That, for me, is an underlying theme that Jack is, as it stands, the England number one. And I think it says, I said a few weeks ago at the Leicester game, I thought he'd lost it there. But because obviously there's been no standout candidates since, no one, you know, everyone's been letting goals in.
Yeah, and I think that Leicester mistake was just a balls up. It wasn't like a problem in his style.
Yeah, it's the first sort of mistake I've seen from him.
Yeah, one as blatant as that.
As blatant, yeah. And you don't see them often, hopefully, you know, we see no more. But, you know, hopefully Jack is the England goalkeeper for the World Cup. And obviously this weekend as well. But that has been the Bear Pit Pod. We will sort of be back, sort of not, maybe, for the love to be clear and concise on this podcast. For Arsenal, because obviously there's nothing Stoke to cover in the international breaks, we'll probably be back after Arsenal. But it's Arsenal up next at the Emirates. Bugger.
Yeah, great.
Bugger. But we'll be back after that. Hopefully we get 3 points. That has been the Bear Pit Pod. Leave us a like wherever you're listening. SoundCloud, Acast, YouTube, iTunes, wherever it may be. Leave us a 5-star review. Thank you, Tom, for coming on and filling in front for Craig. Subbed you in.
No worries.
Subbed you in, just like a Hesse sub.
Hopefully I've been as good as Chupa-mating sub.
Yeah,
and now I'm buggering
Don't do a
off.
Hesse sub
I'm not going
and
back.
go and put a cap on and go take a picture afterwards. But that's been Bear Pit Pod. Thank you for listening. We'll see you later.